How important is your attitude when it comes to money? None of this wishy-washy shit. I'm talking about academic-based, peer-reviewed research on how our attitudes can affect how we approach money.
Look at me. Sure. I'm the captain now.
A research that argues this is Tang and Gilbert in 1995. They proclaim that money attitudes are established early in childhood and remains fairly consistent throughout life. Our attitudes about money isn't about how we lived, but it's actually where in our type of generation that we do live. So a lot of our financial attitudes are governed by the year we are born. So if you were born in the Great Depression, you'd be typically more frugal. You'll have this type of money consciousness that every penny counts. Whereas if you lived in the Western world in the early 2000s, where money was easy created, it's very different in terms of attitudes, where you are more loose about money. You don't mind spending money in terms of frivolous things, and it can really greatly affect on how you think about the greater future. You might be a short-term thinker instead of a long-term thinker. These type of things can really affect on how our attitudes are in terms of how much we're going to save for retirement, how we have financial freedom in early ages, as well as what we're looking for in terms of a family.
Attitude reflect leadership, Captain.
As great as all of this, you are the captain of your own ship. That means that your financial attitudes are governed by you and you only. No parent, no friend can ever educate you on what your attitudes are. It's only you that can change, or you can keep the great things about your own relationship with money. Hopefully this starts to get you thinking. Let's get on to the video and let's see what type of money consciousness you are. So let me talk to you about the rabbit hole of academic papers that I've been going through recently. Let's call it financial psychology or money beliefs. It talks about how our beliefs can truly navigate how we save or we don't save in terms of our normal daily lives. A study by Goldberg and Lewis in 1978 says that people are unaware that what they are truly seeking is an increase in self-respect or security or freedom or love or power. Goldberg and Lewis planted a seed in us that money is not abstract, it's something we can truly study. But Yamuchi and Templar in 1982 created a questionnaire that had questions like, I purchase things because I can impress others. Another one is, when I purchase, I know I'm being ripped off. Using these ideas, their answers can be traced into one of these 4 categories. We'll speak about them in a later segment. The models that they defined, refined, and retested are now a modern school of thought. It's presented by this guy, Dr. Bradley Const, and his theory of money scripts. I'll explain it like this. As we get out of the womb, our brains are underdeveloped and need to interpret the world around it and devise a principle or instruction on how to act, and these are defined as scripts. These scripts are typically learned in childhood, typically unconscious, passed down from generation, and partially true. They are powerful in how we shape and how we act about money in a wrong way. There are a load of these money scripts that we'll be touching on today, but we'll only be touching on the main ones. I'll be linking all of these in the description below, but at the end I'll show you what scripts define you and how you can change them.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
One is money avoidance. These type of people are the ones that are extremely ignorant about anything to do with money. So they say money is evil. They say things like, I don't really check my bank accounts. I think that I'm using my overdraft all the time, and they're very much enablers. That means that they're happy to give money to other people because they don't really value what money can do, and they're very much short-term minded. These types of people I have met a lot in my life who just disregard what money can do for them, as well as what type of freedom they can even enable with just a saving. They tend to be single, younger generation, as well as having no self-worth and low education. If you know someone like this, here are a few steps that can truly help them to actually learn what true money is.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Step one is talk about money with them. So even if it's just once a month, you need to actually regulate how much education they can receive in terms of anything financial. So having a monthly salary, how they should spend it, how should they save, and how to invest it. These are key things that can start them to get into this type of wheel that can allow them to truly save and actually have this type of a priority mindset in terms of financial freedom and money. Step two is giving them regulations and a spending limit. So the more that they actually succeed in reaching the spending limit, the more that they are rewarded and get that self-fulfillment. An example of this is when they do their grocery tally every month, see that they've only spent £300 in the whole month to feed 4 family members. That's a very good way of just starting that type of saving mentality, as well as just getting into that frugality, because a lot of people that don't track their money usually overspend and never save for their retirement, or they'll be working for the rest of their lives way past retirement age.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Now this is something that hits into my type of attribute, which is money focus. Cash rules everything around me by Wu-Tang Clan. This is the type of mindset that a lot of people have, because that money is always more, that you can always get more money. The problem with this type of mindset is that we never have this type of fulfillment of how much money do we actually truly need. We're always trying to seek more and more, even if we have a great house, a great Lamborghini, a great car, or amazing children. We always try to seek more and more. This type of greed mentality keeps on going, and there's no true happiness, only a comparative aspect that you always try to envy your neighbor because he's got a nicer car, or he's got a nicer garden with a nice gardener and a better wife. The problem with this comparative mentality is that a lot of people will have a workaholic attribute to them. They're happy to spend 80, 90 or 100 hours at work just so they can try to better from their neighbors or their friends, and a higher burnout rate is a result of it. This type of money focus is not very healthy, and it gets a lot of people into a bad cycle of negative effects. So they typically disregard physical attributes as mental health or physical activity. A lot of these are type of finance or bankers that have low back pain, which are focused too much on money, when true happiness is not about how much money you make, but about the freedom that you have, that you are trying to help humanity.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Number 3, money status. Is very similar to money focus, however the key principles is very different. In money focus is very much external, looking at other people and have a worship mentality that money can fix everything, whereas money status is very much internal. So an insecurity about how wealthy you are is the biggest type of difference. In terms of a money status person, they look at a lot of how money is very much affected in their lives, of how wealth can be perceived into other people. They're very insecure about either their height or about their wealth. So they have to either overspend to look extremely rich, which they typically aren't. They use a lot of credit, and they're typically quite envious in terms of how they are as a person. So they always try to compete with other people, similar to a money-focused person. However, they don't care about anyone else or their type of relationship. The only thing they care about is their perception, even though they are not morally good. A phrase that truly remarks this is that my net worth influences my self-worth. Another one would be talk is cheap. A lot of these people have always creates a perception that they're extremely rich, which they are not. They're usually in large debt or have even become bankrupt. A lot of the richest people in the world do not care what they look like externally, because they know they are extremely rich internally. A good example of this is Warren Buffett. He has not spent any money in the last 20 years on a new car because his current car gets him to A to B. Mark Zuckerberg, the owner of Facebook, does not care about anything rich or extravagant. He wears the same clothes every day, which is shorts and a shirt, because it's comfortable. All of these people simplify everything to its core needs, which is keep you warm, get you from point A to B, and gives you energy, like food. It's about this type of internal things and simplifying everything that are the best types of people.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Number 4 is money vigilance. This is typically somebody that is extremely frugal, worries about the monthly wages, as well as having a good set plan and having savings. The problem with this is that a lot of people who are in this money vigilance category are very afraid to actually spend any money. They're extremely frugal, even outperforming homeless people in terms of spending. The problem with this is that they keep creating a war chest but never spend anything, even for a loved one's health bills. They're so money conscious that it actually affects their relationship, that they don't do anything except stay in a room and do nothing with their lives. Number 4 is money vigilance. This is probably the most positive ones out of all the other 4. They are typically financially alert. They are concerned with their financial welfare, as well as being extremely worried about the future of their finances. These typical people are typically that type of blue character, extremely anxious about life. They always try to save money because they're worried that their health bill or a broken car will always come in the future. However, there is also feedback on that they're extremely frugal, that they will never ever spend that money, and they'll carry it until they die. But this is the type of balance that you have, is that you need to be money focused, money vigilant, money status even just a tiny bit, just for a bit of fun. Having all of these type of traits and balance them out is probably the best type of person you can ever be.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Are we just predisposed at an early age that our financial attributes are governed by our lifestyle at a young age? No, I don't personally believe that. We are influenced by money and how our adversity are truly built. So the more adversity we have at a younger age, the more frugal we will be, the harder we will at working, as well as have a better relationship in the future. You can see that in any type of adversity, from the Jewish, the Chinese, even the Africans today, that they had a large adversity to them, and that truly governed how they had a relationship with money. When you don't have money, you will always value it more and have a better relationship with it in the long run. In terms of my own perspective, after finishing education, I wasn't financially literate. I had to learn a lot of it because I was crunching into debt, and this is why I created these YouTube channels, because I found that financial literacy was the biggest thing that a lot of people needed to learn straight out of any type of education, from high school, college, or even university. A lot of people, even doctors, even lawyers, do not know what true financial literacy is, and it should have been in the curriculum, the syllabus, at a very young age. Screw looking at Pythagoras' theorem. Stop teaching us about geology, about some stupid rock. Teach us about financial literacy, and that will actually get us to a better saving crunch. But sadly, that is not what the country wants you to do. They want you to actually be in debt, always giving money to government, and this is the problem. We need to be our own captains of our own ship and stop letting others control our narrative. There's a good test out there called the script test. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. Tell me what type of attitude you have. I hope this video really teaches you a lot about the type of relationships you have in terms of money, and I hope that's changed your life. Okay, This is the end of the video. I hope you liked the video, and if you did, please like and subscribe. I enjoyed this video greatly, and I hope you did as well. Take care. Bye.